When God removes someone from your life, it may feel painful, confusing, and even unfair at first. You might sit in silence wondering, why did they leave me? What did I do wrong? But the truth is, not every departure is a loss. Sometimes it's divine protection in disguise. God sees the conversations you don't hear, the intentions you can't see, and the traps set against you that never reached your ears. When He removes someone, it's not to punish you, but to protect you from the hidden harm that could have destroyed your peace or derailed your purpose. You might have prayed for blessings, but blessings can't exist in an environment full of deceit, jealousy, or manipulation. So, before God releases what you asked for, He cleans the room. He separates you from those who secretly envy your growth, those who smile in your face but secretly resent your progress. You don't need to chase after anyone who walks away from you. If they can leave, they were never meant to stay. God knows the weight of your destiny, and not everyone can carry it with you. Some people look like friends but carry the heart of enemies. Some appear supportive but are only sticking around to see if you fail. God, in His mercy, removes these people before they can destroy the seed He planted inside you. Think of it like pruning a tree. For new fruit to grow, dead branches must be cut off. The pruning hurts, but it's necessary. So when relationships suddenly end, when you lose people you thought were permanent, take a deep breath and whisper, God, I trust your hand, even when I don't understand your plan. There are times when you'll beg God to keep something, but later you'll thank Him for letting them go. You'll realize that their absence was the beginning of your healing. Sometimes God answers prayers by subtraction. He'll remove the very thing you thought you needed, only to show you that you never needed it to begin with. What you thought was rejection was actually redirection. You weren't being abandoned, you were being aligned. When God takes something away, He's not depriving you, He's making room for better. So stop mourning over closed doors. Stop chasing what God has already released. The pain of their exit might sting now, but soon you'll see that you were rescued, not rejected. God doesn't allow endings without a greater beginning in sight. He's clearing your path, cutting ties, and reshaping your circle because He's preparing to elevate you. What you lost wasn't meant to stay in your next level. You don't need everyone to understand your journey. Some people's chapter in your life has simply ended, and that's okay. You're not cursed for losing them. You're covered by divine protection. Trust that God never subtracts without the intention to multiply. The same hands that removed the wrong ones will bring the right ones. The same God who ended that connection is preparing divine connections that will lift you higher. Every goodbye was part of the setup for a better hello. So instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start declaring, God, I know you are protecting me. Because when God removes, it's not to break you, it's to bless you. And one day, when the dust settles, you'll look back and realize that the removal was the very moment your real transformation began. When God begins to reveal fake people in your life, He does it through situations that expose their true hearts. He allows certain moments, misunderstandings, or disappointments to take place, not to break you, but to open your eyes. Sometimes, the very people you thought were loyal are the ones who start to show cracks when pressure hits. When you're in abundance, they cheer loudly, but the moment you struggle, their energy changes. That's not coincidence, that's revelation. God doesn't always speak through thunder or dreams. He speaks through actions. When someone's mask begins to slip, it's not random. It's God letting you see what you refused to discern. You see, fake people can't hide forever under the light of truth. God will create circumstances that pull away the cover of deceit. Suddenly, the same friend who once praised you begins to compete with you. The one who called you family stops clapping when you win. These moments hurt deeply, but they're not punishments, they're protection. God is saying, I need to show you who's with you for real. and who's only with you for what you can give. He lets the fire of adversity test every relationship because fire doesn't lie. True gold shines under heat, fake gold melts. So when relationships start falling apart after you go through a storm, don't chase them. God is revealing their true value. Many people pray for discernment, but when God actually shows them the truth about someone, they ignore it. They see the signs, the jealousy in their tone, the constant competition, the secret conversations, but they make excuses. Don't do that anymore. When God reveals, believe Him. When He shows you someone's true heart, it's not your job to fix them. It's your job to protect your peace. God doesn't want you surrounded by people who secretly want your position, your joy, or your downfall. He loves you too much to let you stay connected to those who drain your spirit. Sometimes revelation comes in the form of betrayal. It's painful when someone you trusted stabs you in the back, but remember, Jesus needed Judas to fulfill his purpose. Judas didn't destroy him, Judas revealed him. The betrayal didn't stop his mission, it positioned him for elevation. Likewise, when fake people reveal themselves, it's not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your breakthrough. You can't carry everyone into your next season, especially those who carry poison in their hearts. So, when you start to see people acting differently, less supportive, more distant, or suddenly critical, don't panic. Smile because you're witnessing God's divine exposure. He's showing you who's who. The storm didn't come to destroy your circle. It came to cleanse it. Don't hold bitterness toward those who revealed themselves. Instead, thank God for clarity. Every fake person exposed is one less distraction on your journey. Understand this. God is not cruel for letting people show their true colors. He's compassionate. He's protecting your destiny from contamination. He's making sure that when He blesses you, those who receive it with you are real, pure, and loyal. So, the next time someone walks away or their true face appears, don't chase after them. Let them go and thank God that He revealed the truth before the breakthrough. Because fake people can clap for your struggle, but can't stand your success. God wants you surrounded by those who can handle your blessing, not secretly hope for your downfall. Every exposure is an answered prayer. Every revelation is an act of mercy. And when the truth finally unfolds, you'll stand in awe, realizing that what was painful was actually preparation for peace. When God is revealing fake people in your life, He will disturb your spirit around them. There will be a sudden uneasiness that you can't explain, a quiet discomfort that grows stronger every time you're in their presence. It won't always make logical sense at first, but deep down, your spirit will know something isn't right. You'll start noticing little things, a fake smile that doesn't reach the eyes, a conversation that feels forced, or energy that drains you instead of refreshing you. That's not paranoia, that's discernment. God is whispering, pay attention, this one is not for you. When the Holy Spirit dwells in you, He acts as a divine alarm system, alerting you to people whose intentions don't align with their words. Never ignore those inner nudges. They are divine warnings wrapped in intuition. Sometimes God allows your peace to be disrupted because He wants to protect your purpose. When someone's spirit doesn't match yours, there's always tension in the atmosphere. You may feel exhausted after talking to them, anxious after sharing your dreams, or uneasy after spending time together. That's not random, it's spiritual. Light and darkness cannot coexist in harmony. When you carry the light of God within you, those who walk in deceit will be exposed simply by being near you. Their true motives can't hide under the illumination of your anointing. Your spirit will start to reject what your mind is still trying to accept. God will also test your sensitivity to His voice in these moments. He wants to know, will you trust your discernment or your emotions? Too often, We hold on to people out of history, loyalty, or fear of being alone. Even when God is clearly signaling, it's time to let them go. You must learn to trust that uneasy feeling. That tension is not confusion. It's clarity in disguise. It's God saying, you prayed for wisdom, now I'm giving it to you. Don't silence my voice because it doesn't match your comfort. Sometimes he'll even confirm your discernment through signs. You'll overhear a conversation, see something you weren't supposed to see, or someone else will unknowingly reveal a truth. That's God's way of saying, see, you were right to feel uneasy. When your peace leaves around a person, that's your cue to create distance. Protecting your peace is not pride, it's spiritual maturity. You don't have to confront everyone who's fake, you just have to stop granting them access to your energy. Understand this, discernment is a divine gift. It's how God keeps your spirit safe from manipulation. Fake people will often mask their intentions with charm, flattery, or emotional manipulation. But the spirit never lies, it always knows. The more you spend time in prayer, the sharper your discernment becomes. You start seeing beyond smiles and words. You start feeling energy, not hearing excuses. That's what spiritual growth looks like, when you no longer need proof to trust your peace. So when your heart feels uneasy about someone, don't rush to justify their behavior. Sit still and listen. God speaks most clearly through the discomfort that won't go away. That uneasy feeling is his hand over your heart, saying, I'm trying to protect you before you get hurt. Trust that. Because when God removes your peace about a person, he's removing their permission to stay in your life. Your peace is sacred. Guard it like treasure. If you have to lose your peace to keep someone, they were never sent by God. When God is revealing fake people in your life, he will allow betrayal to expose what love tried to cover. Betrayal is one of the hardest things to experience, especially when it comes from someone you trusted deeply. It cuts differently when the knife comes from the hands you once held, but what feels like devastation is often divine revelation. God will let people betray you, not because he wants to see you broken, but because he needs you to see the truth you were ignoring. You might have been blinded by loyalty, history, or hope that they would change. But God, in his mercy, allows the betrayal so you can stop fighting for relationships he's already ended. Betrayal doesn't happen to destroy you, it happens to direct you. Think about Jesus. He chose Judas, knowing Judas would betray him. Why? Because Judas wasn't a mistake in his story. Judas was a part of his mission. Without Judas, there would be no cross. Without the cross, there would be no resurrection. Likewise, the betrayal in your life wasn't designed to end your purpose. It was meant to push you into it. Sometimes the people who hurt you are actually the tools God uses to position you. What they meant for harm, God turns into healing. What they thought would break you becomes the very thing that builds you. The pain of betrayal often opens your eyes in ways peace never could. When someone shows you who they truly are, believe them the first time. Don't beg them to stay. Don't plead for explanations. Let them go. God revealed their disloyalty not to make you bitter, but to make you wiser. He wanted you to see that not everyone who walks with you walks for you. Some people love your light until it outshines theirs. They're comfortable with you as long as you're below them. But once you start to rise, their support turns to silence. Betrayal simply unmasks the hidden enemies in friendly faces. And yes, it hurts. It's okay to cry, to feel the sting of disappointment. But don't let that pain harden your heart. Let it strengthen your discernment. Every betrayal carries a lesson. You learn who to trust, how to guard your spirit, and how to listen to the whispers of God before you trust the promises of people. God is using betrayal as your teacher. It's teaching you not to rely on words, but on fruit. Fake people can talk like friends, but their actions will always reveal what their hearts conceal. When betrayal happens, don't curse the betrayer. Thank God for the exposure. God will never allow someone to betray you without already having a greater blessing waiting beyond it. You lost them, but you didn't lose God. And when you still choose to walk in love despite the betrayal, you rise above their deceit and walk into divine promotion. The betrayal didn't break you, it graduated you. So, stop replaying what happened and start praising God for what's coming. That door didn't close by accident, it closed on purpose. Every Judas has an expiration date, and when they walk out, it means resurrection is around the corner. Betrayal was not the end, it was the unveiling. God removed your blindfold so you could stop calling a threat a friend. Don't let their disloyalty distract you. Let it define your destiny. Because after every betrayal, there is a blessing, and after every heartbreak, there is healing. You might have been betrayed, but you were not defeated. You were chosen to see the truth, and that revelation is your freedom. When God is revealing fake people in your life, He will allow distance to do what discernment couldn't. Sometimes He won't expose them through conflict or betrayal. He'll simply start pulling them away. Suddenly, the communication slows down, the energy feels off, and what once flowed easily now feels forced. That's not rejection, that's protection. God knows the conversations you can't hear and the intentions you can't see. So He starts separating you quietly before their hidden motives have a chance to wound you deeply. When someone starts to drift away and you can't understand why, don't chase after them. Trust that the same God who brought them into your life is the same God who is now removing them for your good. Distance can feel painful because your heart remembers the connection, but your spirit senses the shift. You might find yourself wondering, did I do something wrong? But often, the answer is no. You didn't do anything wrong. You simply outgrew the season where they belonged. God will never let you remain surrounded by people who can't go where He's taking you. He will separate you from those whose loyalty was tied to your limitation. The moment you begin to rise, not everyone will clap, and that silence is God's way of showing you who is attached to your struggle, not your success. The separation may feel lonely, but solitude with God is safer than company with pretenders. Some people only loved you when you needed them, but the moment you started walking in strength, they felt threatened instead of proud. God saw the envy in their hearts long before you did, and because He loves you too much to let you be sabotaged, He created divine distance. You might not understand it now, but one day you'll look back and realize their absence was your advancement. Every person who walks away creates space for something better to walk in. When you notice that certain people no longer fit, it's because God is elevating you. You can't carry old company into a new calling. It's not personal, it's purposeful. The distance isn't punishment, it's preparation. God is pruning your circle, removing the weeds so your purpose can flourish. Sometimes He will even let you feel the pain of disconnection just so you can learn to depend on Him more deeply. You don't need a crowd to be chosen. You just need God's confirmation. So, stop forcing connections that God has already ended. Stop trying to revive relationships that are spiritually expired. When God removes someone, it's never a loss, it's a rescue. He knows what conversations were happening behind closed doors, what envy was brewing beneath the smiles, and what plots were forming under the disguise of friendship. You might think you lost something good, but God knows you were being protected from something harmful. This season of separation is not the end, it's the cleansing before elevation. Don't fight what God is freeing you from. Every time someone walks away, lift your head and say, God, I trust your plan. Because once the wrong people leave your life, the right ones will finally have room to enter. Distance doesn't mean defeat, it means direction. God is guiding you away from confusion and into clarity, away from manipulation and into maturity. You're not being abandoned. You're being aligned with your destiny. When God finally exposes the fake people around you, it's not to break your heart, but to build your wisdom. This revelation is divine protection wrapped in painful truth. You may cry, you may question, and you may even feel betrayed. But understand this, God never reveals without reason. He allows you to see their true colors because He's preparing you for greater connections that won't drain your spirit. The exposure is not meant to embarrass them, it's meant to empower you. It's God saying, you've learned enough from pretending love, now it's time for pure love. You've carried enough counterfeit loyalty, now it's time for genuine hearts. When He opens your eyes, don't close them again just because the truth hurts. The pain of revelation is always better than the peace of illusion. Sometimes God will let you walk through betrayal, not to punish you, but to train your discernment. You can't become spiritually mature without learning how to recognize deceit. Those who once smiled in your face but spoke against you behind closed doors were part of your spiritual training. Their betrayal became your breakthrough because it taught you to rely on God instead of approval. What they meant for evil, God turned for good. You needed that experience to develop spiritual eyes sharp enough to detect when someone's energy doesn't match their words. You needed that disappointment to understand that not every "I'm proud of you" comes from a pure place. Every fake person God exposed helped refine your judgment so that you can now protect your peace, your purpose, and your heart. As God exposes the fake, He's also revealing the real, those rare souls who truly care, who celebrate you without envy, and who pray for you without announcement. Once your vision clears, you'll start to see the difference between those who want access to your light and those who genuinely want to help it shine brighter. You'll stop begging for loyalty because loyalty will naturally be drawn to your authenticity. The fakes needed to be revealed so you could stop depending on people and start depending on God. He's not just removing, He's replacing. He's bringing divine connections that align with your next level. Remember, exposure is not destruction, it's redirection. It's God moving you away from counterfeit comfort toward authentic companionship. Every time someone's mask falls off, don't be angry, be grateful. You just witnessed God's mercy in action. You were praying for elevation, and this exposure is part of the answer. You can't carry deception into your destiny. You can't walk in purpose surrounded by pretense. So when the truth comes out, thank God for the clarity. What you see now may sting, but it will save you later. This revelation season is not meant to make you bitter. It's meant to make you better. It's meant to remind you that you are covered, protected, and chosen. God will never let fake hands hold your future. He will strip away anything that threatens your peace, even if it's disguised as love. Let them go in peace, because the same God who exposed them will replace them with people who see your value without competition and love you without agenda. So, lift your head and dry your tears. The exposure was not your downfall, it was your deliverance. You are not being punished, you're being purified. The masks had to fall so you could finally see the truth of who's standing with you and who's standing against you. And as you move forward, carry this truth in your heart. What God reveals, He heals. You are stepping into a season where only the genuine can remain. Trust that every fake departure is making room for divine alignment, divine favor, and divine connection. The circle may look smaller, but it's stronger. God removed the counterfeit so He could prepare you for the covenant.